Did I smell all of these? Who knows? But I will say it's very tempting. Hello. How are you? 3 weeks ago, I went on an impromptu expedition to obtain more books. As you could probably tell from the intro, I hit the jackpot. Almost. So without further ado, here's everything I got during that book haul. First up is Blood Scion by Deborah Falaye. This is the first book in a duology, and it actually came out just last month. The main character, Sloane, is a descendant of the ancient Orisha gods, which basically means she can incinerate people with her mind. However, she has to keep her identity a secret, because if the ruling Lucis find out who she is, she'll get yeeted. On her 15th birthday, Sloane is conscripted into the Lucis army, which gives her an opportunity to destroy her enemies. But as she rises through the ranks, she runs the risk of becoming the very thing she hates. This is what they deserve. They wanted me to be a monster. I will be the worst monster they ever created. I live. Next up is Legacy of Ash by Matthew Ward. This is the first book in the Legacy trilogy, and as you can see, it is a big boy. I could have sworn I got this the last time I went to the bookstore, but somehow I didn't. So this time around, I was just like, screw this, I need to get you. War is spreading across the Trussian Republic, and 3 people must save their homeland. A warrior with a secret, a political prisoner, and that political prisoner's sister. However, as the synopsis says, decades of bad blood are not easily forgotten. Did someone say intrigue and revolution? Sounds hot. Then we have The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. This is the first book in the Empire of the Wolf series, and I saw a fair bit about this on my Instagram feed, so of course I had to check it out. As an Emperor's Justice, which basically means someone who functions as judge, detective, and executioner, Sir Conrad von Volt's duty is to uphold the law in whatever ways possible. When von Volt investigates the murder of a noblewoman, he finds a conspiracy that has the potential to weave chaos across the Empire of the Wolf. Again, sounds hot. Next up is a book that I'm very excited about. The City of Dusk by Tara Sim. This is the first book in the Dark Gods series. I believe it's a trilogy. The story is set in a world where 4 realms all converge on the titular City of Dusk. However, for some reason, the gods decided to go, screw this, we're out. And now, because of that, all 4 of the realms are dying. The 4 heirs to divine power team up in a bid to save their city, but of course there will most likely be consequences. As I said, I'm pretty hyped about this, so hopefully I'm not disappointed. I bought 2 manga volumes alongside the aforementioned novels. The first one is Volume 2 of Moriarty the Patriot. I read Volume 1 in February, and I absolutely enjoyed it. For those of you who don't know, this is loosely based on the Sherlock Holmes universe and is the not really canon origin story of Professor James Moriarty, Sherlock's nemesis. I actually talked about this a bit in my January-February wrap-up, the link is in the description. But basically what you need to know about Moriarty the Patriot is it's about 3 men flexing on the corrupt upper class and wreaking sweet havoc while doing so. The other manga volume I got is Volume 2 of Mars Red. I mentioned this in my April TBR, so I'm not going to waste anyone's time being redundant, so if you want to know more, the link is also in the description. Basically, vampires. Last but certainly not least is... You ready for a surprise? Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Seriously? Yeah, seriously. This is Oscar Wilde's most popular work, I believe, and for those of you who are unfamiliar, the book follows a man who sells his soul for eternal youth. This caused quite the scandal when it came out in 1890, particularly concerning the main character's moral disintegration. Fun fact, when I was in college, we had the option to read this book as part of the class curriculum, but it got beat out by a different book. I remember being intrigued by the premise, and it still hasn't left my mind nearly 5 years later. So that was everything I got in my most recent book haul. If you made it to the end, thank you for sticking around. Recently I was tagged in my first ever booktube tag, so that's gonna be fun. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. To smell or not to smell? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer. I forget the rest.